47 minutes. That's how long the Pura 80 Ultra lasted before shelves, online and off, were wiped clean, with Richard Yu crowning it the new king of imaging and admitting demand blew past forecasts as stock dried up before lunch. At the same time, Huawei clawed back the #1 spot in China's shrinking smartphone market, growing while everyone else slipped. Proof this wasn't a one-day fluke, but part of a broader surge. HarmonyOS 6 is rolling out in developer beta with a flood of apps and new AI agent tricks, which means Huawei's post-Google world isn't limping. It's accelerating. Meanwhile, iPhone 17 leaks scream, "We heard you." A thinner Air model, a horizontal camera bar, bigger sensors, 48 meg telephoto, even a 24 meg selfie cam. Apple clearly knows imaging is the battleground this fall. And if you still doubt Huawei's camera cred, remember the Pura 70 Ultra didn't just trend. It topped photo and zoom charts in the real world. So was that 47-minute sellout pure demand, a masterclass in scarcity, or both? And did Huawei just kill your patience for waiting on Apple? Let's dig in. 47 minutes and gone sounds like a fairy tale for marketers, but it's also a perfect stress test for separating hype from reality. June 26th, 10 a.m. Doors slide open across China. Crowds pour in like it's an iPhone 6 launch. Staff can't print receipts fast enough, boxes vanish, and sold-out banners light up timelines. But who is actually in those lines? Hardcore camera nerds chasing long-zoom clarity? Scalpers sniffing margins? Everyday users sick of phones that all look and shoot the same? A buddy of mine pitched a folding chair at 3 a.m., snagged the last Ultra in his store, and when I asked why he traded sleep for silicon, he didn't hesitate. "I want the lens that switches. Nobody else has it." That one sentence is the rabbit hole, because the real flex this round isn't the obvious headline spec everyone keeps parroting. Yes, the main sensor is huge. 1 inch, loads of dynamic range, but that's not the plot twist anymore. The part reviewers keep circling back to once they've actually shot with it is the dual switchable periscope telephoto. In plain language, the phone physically swaps optical paths at different focal lengths to keep light and detail high instead of letting your 10x shot dissolve into mush. Low-light zoom on a singer from the back row? Still bright. That bird across the park? Feathers, not pixels. A mural at midnight? Texture, not watercolor. This isn't a software magic trick. It's hardware doing heavy lifting, so the post-processing doesn't have to fake it. Of course, that raises a question you need to answer before dopamine hits buy. Will you actually use 5x or 10x for anything besides moon memes? If your Zoom life is latte art and dog noses at arm's length, probably not. But if you shoot concerts from the cheap seats, travel like a content creator, or want graduation shots from the bleachers without sprinting aisle to aisle, this isn't fluff. It's insurance your shot survives distance and darkness. Design-wise, Huawei finally looks like the camera team and the industrial designers shared a table. Best-looking Pura isn't just flattery, it's relief. The camera island stops pretending to be a stovetop and becomes a clean, framed rectangle your eyes accept instead of tolerate. Weight distribution is balanced enough that filming longer than 30 seconds doesn't trigger a grip shuffle. The finish feels deliberate, not glossy for the spec sheet. It's premium in the way your wrist and eyes quietly confirm every time you pull it out, which matters because most camera phones up till now solve for numbers, not for how it feels to hold and actually shoot with those numbers. Check your feed and you'll see two loud camps. One is chanting, sanctioned, still innovating, take my money. The other rolls its eyes. Sold out? Try shipping a handful of units per store. Both have a point. Controlled inventory always magnifies day one drama. Welcome to Launch Strategy 101. But the lines were real, and the pent-up interest didn't materialize out of thin air. There's a narrative layer, too. When a brand gets kneecapped and refuses to limp, the base rallies. If you dismiss that emotional tailwind, you'll keep misreading China's market. So which side are you on, supporter or skeptic? Sound off below and tell me why. I'll ratio it in the next episode. Here's what a lot of Western hot takes miss. This phone exploded without Google mobile services. No Play Store, no Gmail hooks. For many international users, that's a deal breaker, or at least a headache. So how did it work? Start with the obvious. China's digital life is nearly self-sealed. HarmonyOS, local app stores, domestic services. Most users aren't missing Google because they never needed it. Layer 2, real differentiation. In a market stuffed with Android slabs converging on the same spec sheet, Huawei picked a lane, long zoom clarity, and refined design, and nailed it. People can tell when a product has a point. Layer 3. Emotion and performance finally share the steering wheel. It's not just, I'm buying to support. It's, I'm buying something that performs and represents something. But can that formula scale abroad? If you're watching from the US, Europe, or Southeast Asia, be honest. Would you ditch native Google for this camera? Are you already sideloading APKs, or is that a hard no? Drop your country and reality in the comments. I'll screen cap and feature the sharpest takes. So, did Huawei kill the iPhone 17? Fun line, punchy title, but let's get specific about what actually got killed: patience. A chunk of fence-sitters planning to wait for Apple stopped waiting. They saw enough, liked enough, and swiped now. And a wake-up call just hit the big three. Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi. None of them can stroll into Q4 flashing a token 3x lens and expect applause. Clear, low-noise long zoom, smarter AI guidance, computational photography that doesn't need a tutorial. Those just graduated from nice-to-have to table stakes. So here's how we'll grade Apple in September. Do we finally see a bigger sensor or a periscope on at least one model? Does that rumored 24-meg selfie cam translate to real low-light face shots? Or is it marketing math? Does a horizontal camera bar mean function or fashion? And most critically, does iOS's creator ecosystem still put up a wall HarmonyOS can't climb, or do Huawei's new AI agents chip at that moat? We reconvene after Tim Cook says good morning, and we put specs, sample shots, and workflow side by side. No mercy, no tribalism. Before the confetti, a reality check. Huawei's playing Jenga with sanctions. One component squeeze and momentum stutters. Those domestically sourced sensors are impressive, but supply stability matters when you're scaling. HarmonyOS is surging at home, but to be more than a domestic juggernaut, it needs international developer love and hardware partners who won't blink under pressure. That doesn't erase today's win, but if you're thinking import, or if your workflow lives on niche Western apps, factor the risk. Are you cool taking that bet, or do you wait for batch 2 or Apple's counterpunch? Different answers make sense for different people. State yours, don't just lurk. Here's where you do more than watch. First, plant your flag on 2025's camera champ. Pura 80 Ultra, iPhone 17, Galaxy S25 Ultra, Xiaomi 15 Ultra, or a dark horse I didn't name. Call it loud in the comments. I'll tally and show the pie chart next video. Second, give me your real zoom scenario, not wildlife, but I want a clean shot of my kid nailing a backflip from the stands, or I need to film a guitarist's fingers from row 20 at a stadium show. The best, most specific use cases get featured. Third, hit the pinned comment. I dropped a one-pager comparing the big camera flagships, sensor sizes, focal ranges, AI tricks, ecosystem pros and cons, so you don't impulse buy blind. Now, let's bring it back to that title. Was Huawei's 47-minute sellout pure hype, razor-sharp strategy, or truly the iPhone 17's worst nightmare? I want you to choose one of those three and defend it like you're on stage at a debate club. Don't just type strategy. Tell me the exact move that convinced you. Don't just type nightmare. Explain what specific feature forces Apple to respond. And if you think it's hype, prove it. What metric or moment makes the whole thing smoke and mirrors? I'll pin the sharpest argument, shout out the spiciest take, and read the most convincing counterpoint in the next video. Your move, comment section is officially open.